Have you ever done the right thing, but it seems like you got the wrong results? It left you scratching your head trying to figure out how in the world did this happen? I crossed all my T's, man. I dotted all my I's. What in the world? I've been there. Let's talk about it today on TC Talks.
Regular people living real lives, and this is TC Talks. This is TC Talks. This is TC Talks. And this is TC Talks.
Hey, what's up, my friends? It's TC here, another episode of TC Talks. You know, regular people living real lives. I hope you are having an amazing time while you're watching this. Great day, great evening. Listen, it's great. It's great to be alive. I have nothing to complain about. Let me welcome all of my first timers, watching an episode of TC Talks. I hope it won't be your last, man, because I just come on just to have a good conversation with regular people living real lives. But do me a favor, if you have not subscribed to the channel, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you will be the first one notified every time new content drops on the channel. So we appreciate you. Hey, listen, you heard me at the beginning. Have you ever done the right thing, but it's like you got the wrong results? You're like, man, what in the world just happened? I crossed every T. I think I dotted every I, but it didn't work out in my favor. Can I tell you something? It happened to me. And I'm nobody special. So if it happened to me, I'm pretty sure somebody out there, it happened to you too. And that's why I want to talk about it, man, because sometimes those moments are hard to get over. Those memories are hard to forget. Because if you find yourself in that place often, then you'll say to yourself, well, what's the use of doing what's right if it's going to work out wrong every time? That is not the truth, my friend. That is not the truth. The title of this episode is, you got it right, Glory in the Garbage. Let me tell you just a little bit about myself. I don't want this just to be a monologue about me. That's not what this is. I tell you, this is a conversation. I want to converse with you because, again, I'm a regular person just like you are, and I'm living a real life. I got in some trouble when I was 19 years of age. As a matter of fact, so much trouble that I was a convicted felon at 20 years of age. Yep, I was. I saw the top of that paper that says, the United States versus my name. And that was an eye-opener at 20 years old. Prior to that, I had nothing but a speeding ticket. That led me to going to boot camp because I had no record. I went to a federal boot camp for 6 months. And I looked so young that the people there said, man, what are kids doing here? They just picked at me. I still look pretty good now to be 50. But back then, if you could imagine, if I don't look 50 now, when I was 20 years old, man, I looked like I was 12. And so they picked at me and poked fun at me and all that good stuff. But the boot camp was just like the military, man. You got up, you exercised, you did what they call PT, you did all that stuff. It was military pattern. It was a military style camp to give you discipline. And I wasn't in the best shape in the world when I first went. You had to get up 5 o'clock in the morning, man. If you're not running, you're doing push-ups, you're doing sit-ups, you're doing all this crazy type of calisthenics, man, just for discipline. And our team leader, which is also kind of like a drill sergeant, was a lady, man, and she called everybody Rock. She didn't call you your name, she called you Rock. And crazy thing about it is, man, when you get in that type of situation, they take your name from you, they give you a number. They took my name. I was known by a number. You're talking about a shot to your self-esteem, feeling less than a person. And you don't have to be incarcerated to experience that. You can go through an experience where it feels like something has just robbed you of your complete identity. It could be a bad relationship. It could have been a career that you put everything into, and all of a sudden the company shut down, the relationship went south, and you're trying to figure out, who in the world am I without that? Yeah, kind of the same stuff, man. But anyway, just getting there, and I never forget, doing the PT, doing the daily tasks that they assigned you to do, and uh, and there was the garbage house. Everybody knew that if you got assigned the garbage house, that meant that you done something wrong, that you were being punished, and you are actually on your way of signing out. Signing out means that you basically quit, and if you quit, then you had to go and do your whole sentence, basically. And one day I was on my way from the mess hall cafeteria, and team leader looked at me and said, "Rock, go to the garbage house." I said, "I ain't do nothing. I ain't do anything. Why are you sending me to the garbage house?" And when I tell you, man, it messed me up mentally. It did something too, because I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I put on my uniform right. I was silent in the cafeteria when you wasn't supposed to talk while you're eating. I was doing the tasks and the chores that were assigned to me, and I'm trying to figure out, why in the world am I going to the garbage house? So I went, and I was out there, man. I got to be honest with you. First couple of days, and tears was in my eyes. I was like, you know what? I'm getting ready to get out of here. I'm just going, because I didn't do anything. And I gotta ask you, man, you ever had that experience? Like, you love a person, or you're supportive of an individual, you show up to work on time, you train people, you do your job, and it seems like you still got the wrong result. You felt like trash. God almighty. Man, I'm sorry I keep looking down, but just thinking about it, it just kind of, it hits a soft spot, you know? And so I don't know how I overcame it. I wish I can give you a 3-point bullet points to say how I overcame being in the garbage. I I just I think it was the grace. It wasn't. I knew it was the grace of God. This is what I started doing. I realized that the garbage work wasn't hard. The truck only came once a day. You empty the cans in the back of the trash truck, and for the rest of the time that you did the assignment, you just sat on a bucket out in the garbage house. I mean, the smell wasn't that great, but after about a week or so, you didn't smell it anymore. And so I realized, man, this ain't hard work. It's not a desirable place to be, but it's really not hard work. Well, I'm out there, and I had to get over the fact that while people see me in the garbage house, everybody pointing and laughing and snickering, like, yeah. Look at Daniels, look at him out there, think he's somebody. And so anyway, I stayed out there for a couple of months, and this is in Pennsylvania, it started to get cold. Upper Pennsylvania, getting cold. And so next thing you know, the team lead called me, said, "Daniels, come in here to the boiler room." And the boiler room was a place where, you handed out supplies, and it was warm because there was a boiler in there. And I didn't pay it any mind. Listen to what's happening. And so, lo and behold, graduation day came, and the team leader came to me and said, "Daniels, you think I didn't like you, did you?" I said, "Yeah, based on what was going on, yeah, and the things that was going through." She said, "You just dumb as a rock." That's why she called you rock. She's just dumb as a rock. She said, "Check this out. I put you in the garbage house because your name was in the mouths of the wrong people." She said, "I put you out there so that they could think you were being punished. And I left you out there long enough, y'all." Check this out. She left me out there long enough until she no longer heard them talk about me. And once they forgot about me, she said, "Don't you realize I took you out of the garbage house, and when it turned cold, I put you in the boiler room?" She said, "I gave you the best assignment in that season to give you comfort." And I looked and I said, "Oh my God." She said, "Rock, I just hid you until those who were trying to harm you forgot you. They wanted you to quit. And the reason why they wanted you to quit is because you had a level of confidence that they didn't like, and they were trying to break you. But before they could succeed, I hid you. Whew, good Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, y'all. That is that this is a heartstring for me because it shows me that the good Lord, man, is with you no matter where you are. Sometimes we just don't recognize it. That's why I call this episode Glory in the Garbage. Because I didn't see no glory while I was in the garbage, man. I was getting ready to quit. I was getting ready to walk away. I said, bump this. I don't deserve this. And I know, you probably have been there too. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. Yeah, yeah. But man, when she shared that with me the day I graduated, when I tell you the sense of gratitude that came over me because somebody saw something great in me that I didn't see myself, and then they put me in a place so that it can be revealed to me that you got something worth going on for. Can I tell you, whoever watching this, if you're thinking about quitting, you thinking about throwing in the towel, you think about it's too hard, you think that you've gotten the short end of the stick, you think they pushed you out the group, you've been alienated, you've been isolated, you have something in you worth going on for. And could it be, like me, the good Lord is protecting you from the wrong people? Man, all right, y'all. I got some notes though. I told you it's a conversation. I got some notes. Can we converse? Do you know I almost cried just then? Lord have mercy. My glasses would have been a mess if I'd have cried. Jesus, it's a man, TC up there crying. When you go through stuff like that, I don't care how strong you are, how big you are, you just realize the God has been good to you. And I'm telling you, he been good to me. Has he been good to you? Matter of fact, if he been good to you, I want you to put in the comments, I want you to type, say, God has been good to me. Right now, stop what you're doing and type. I want you to testify like the old church. God has been good to me. He has. Yeah. Even if you don't go to church, I want you to say it. God has been good to me. Because sometimes we don't recognize the grace, the covering that the good Lord has put over our life. Now listen, let me tell you something. If you have an aversion to talking about God and the Lord and Jesus, this is probably like the channel and the talk for you, because he been good to me, and that's the only reason why I'm able to talk to you is because of the good Lord. And I'm always talking about exposure. Yep, I sure am. I realized that when she put me in that garbage house, she exposed me to something that I never saw about myself. But watch this. Exposure often leads to exile. I was taken from the population and put in the garbage house by myself. I was exiled, seemingly for doing what I was supposed to do. But I didn't know the full details of why the move was made. But I found out at the end. See, sometimes we don't know up front why things are happening the way that they're happening. But at the end of the movie, at the end of the scenario, at the end of the moment, you realize, oh, that's why that happened like that. And I'm so grateful that it did. What do you mean, TC, that exposure often leads to exile? And I'll say this, it's dangerous to be exposed. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. How did I get exposed in the garbage house? Because I had time to myself. There was nobody talking to me. There was no conversations that were distracting me. I had time to think. I had time to do a self-evaluation of TC. Yeah, it wasn't a desirable place, but it was a necessary one. It wasn't a place I desired, but it was a place that would develop something in me. So watch this. I define exile as this: abandonment of a place or position of comfort. I was removed from my comfort because I needed to go under construction. Let me help you. If you've been recently removed from a place of comfort It's because now you're under construction. There's something in you that needs to be built and developed so that you can be the best version of who you are for the moment that's been designed for you to operate at a level of excellence in. Do not skip over the development because it's not in a place that you desire. Let me say that for the people in the back. Do not skip over development because it's not in a place that you desire. Okay. Back to my notes. We just talking. Regular people living a real life. But when you're in exile, I thought this, it does not mean it's the end. When you are experiencing exile, it does not mean that it's lonely, it's hard, it's sometimes you don't understand a word or a conversation or a reason or why you're where you are. But it ain't the end. Let me encourage you. It's not the end. It's not. It's not the end. You got to change your perspective, man. That's one of the keys that happened. I told you I didn't know how I survived the garbage house. I changed my perspective. When I saw that the work wasn't hard, when I saw that I just had to do a few minutes of work and then just kind of sit back and just kind of stay out of the way and not bother anybody, I changed my perspective. I said, even though it didn't look desirable, but it was a place that I could easily be developed because there was no distractions there. You might be too distracted. That's why, the situation has went to trash and the garbage so that you can get rid of some of the distractions so that you can be developed. Exile is a place of education. And I wasn't the first one. Neither are you. If you ever been abandoned, looked over, the black sheep, all of that stuff, all of the above, you weren't the first one, neither was I. Man, there's a man by the name of Moses. Born a Hebrew, raised an Egyptian, doing a good thing, trying to defend his people, end up committing murder. Now he is a fugitive. He was exposed to the Egyptian kingdom. Now he's exiled for doing something right. That exile led him to being educated by God on the mountain. If he'd have never been exiled, he never would have heard a burning bush speak to him. Moses, you're not a murderer, you are a deliverer. But I had to get you out so that you can see that you have the goods to do what I've assigned you to do. Sometimes you just got to get out because maybe the box you're in is too small. And you just need to be exposed to something greater. And sometimes we won't leave on our own. That's why we have to go through being exiled, being pushed out of the group, being pushed out of the crowd, being pushed out of the familiarity, getting pushed out of our comfort zone. Because exile is a place of education. You learn something. And why is education? Look, my old pastor used to say something, whatever you do, don't waste an experience. Good, bad, or indifferent. Don't waste an experience. I didn't waste my time in the garbage. No, I did not. I learned from it. I learned from it. When I moved, I became more dedicated to every task that was assigned to me. Because I wanted to be committed. I wanted to have the determination, the grit, the grind to do what I knew how to do to the best of my ability. I learned from my experience. Learn from your experience. Don't waste an experience. Exile is a classroom. It's education. And you know why it's so important? Because education activates your execution. When you learn it, you can't unlearn it. And boy, when you learn it, now it's time to go do it. Education activates execution. Yeah. You got that? And watch this. It was the garbage that revealed the glory that was in me the entire time. But I would have never knew it existed if I'd have never been thrown away or never been placed in that place. I thought I was thrown away, but I wasn't thrown away. I was not thrown away. I was positioned there. Ooh, boy. Hey, I know you're enjoying our conversation right now, but I got something really quick I need to share with you. The E3 Challenge is officially on, and you can sign up for it right now. The only thing you got to do is go to www.surgesummit.org/challenges and sign up for the E3 Challenge. Exposure, education, and execution. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It's a life changer. It's a mindset changer. The E3 Challenge is on right now. It's yours today. Only thing you got to do is just sign up for it. The information is on the screen. I appreciate you, and let's get back to this beautiful conversation of TC Talk. It wasn't punishment. It was strategic positioning. What you have experienced, or maybe you're experiencing now, you think is punishment. Has God forgotten about me? You feel like that? Lord, do you hear my prayer? You forsaken me? Man, why are people treating me like this? Why am I going through this? I'm a good person. I've done good things. You know, I help old people across the street. I pay for 3 people behind me in the Starbucks line. I pay it forward. But yet it seems like I'm still getting the short end of the stick. I'm still being in a garbage situation. You think you're being punished. You're being strategically positioned to be developed so that you can go out and execute with excellence in the context that you've been assigned to. Whether it's in the corporate office, whether it's in a fast food restaurant, whether it's working in a warehouse, or whether it's building a house, it doesn't matter. That development came through being divinely positioned and strategically positioned so that the best version of you could emerge. Do you know what she told me when I graduated? And I close with this because I'm out of time. She said, Daniels, you're very good. And you're very smart. And it pained me if you would have signed, it would have pained me, she said, if you would have signed out. Because she said, I saw a young man with great potential. And I didn't want that to go to waste. And that's why I did what I did to you. Man. Isn't it good that the good Lord can put somebody around you to see something in you that you currently don't see yourself? But yet that her conversation or her action exposed me to a version of myself that she already saw. But I didn't see the glory until I was in the garbage. Man, I want to tell you something, y'all. Yeah, challenges exist, but they just come to build your character. And I don't know who's watching this, but I want to say this. If you are watching this, it's not by coincidence or happenstance. You are watching this because you got something great. You got a personal, professional, and moral responsibility to share your gift and your creative genius with the world. But it wouldn't have been possible. You wouldn't have saw it. It wouldn't be emerging right now. Or the glory of that personality that you had wouldn't came out unless you had a garbage experience. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now if I didn't go through the garbage. All right, my friends. It's Bishop TC. I appreciate you. Listen, one more time, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're enjoying this talk, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so you can be notified every time we go live here on this channel. And lastly, drop in the comments, is there anything you want to talk about? Because this ain't just about me. I'm here for you. Tell me what you want to talk about. And on an episode of TC Talks, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Because we're regular people living real lives. All right, good people, I'm out of here. But before I go, live a life so that others can say, now that right there, me and you, that is hope in motion. Take it easy, my friends. Until the next TC Talk. Have a great one.